Hello everybody, and welcome to a new video. In this video, we are going to be looking at what are some seemingly normal videos from across the internet. However, these videos are anything but normal, as these videos have very disturbing backstories to them. This video will cover topics such as shootings and terrorism, so if you don't like any of that, now is the time to click off the video. However, with that out of the way, let's get straight into the video. Enjoy. April 15th, 2013. A normal day for most people. Life was still as it had been for a while now. People living their normal lives, going about their business like everybody else. Including this man, right? Well, his life was anything but normal, and what he did would change the lives of many, many people. This security footage is of a man who seems to just be buying milk. However, this isn't just any man. This man is Jahar Tsarnaev.
2:50 p.m. This is the viewpoint seen by many of the 26,000 marathon runners.
Off. In one video shown for the first time in court today during Jahar's
trial today, we saw for the first time the video that led police to the Tsarnaev brothers.
The day is April 15th, 2013. A pretty normal day in the world. All seems normal. Including this man, Jahar Tsarnaev. To a lot of you, that name may not sound familiar, so let me explain. Jahar was born in 1993 in Tokmak, Kyrgyzstan. Him and his family struggled growing up in Kyrgyzstan, and because of this, they would have to move from country to country within the Russian Federation. His parents loved him and all of his siblings, but they couldn't give them the proper care. So, in 2001, his parents went to the United States and sought asylum as to avoid persecution from the Russian government. Their parents were successful and were granted asylum for them and their children. From there, you would think they would live out a pretty normal and happy life. However, they didn't. Their father seemed to shoplift and get into violence to the point where he was arrested and charged for it on a couple different occasions. As well as Tamerlan, Jahar's older brother, who had a history of assaulting people. However, their parents never had any ideas or ideologies dedicated to terrorism. This all seems to come from the minds of Tamerlan and Jahar Tsarnaev. Jahar and his brother Tamerlan believed that terrorist attacks could help change people's opinions on certain topics across the world. That leads to this video. This video was taken on April 15th, 2013 in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Here we can see Jahar shopping for milk. Nothing he does in the video is anything to be suspicious of. However, it's not what's in this video that is disturbing, but what happened less than an hour before. Just an hour earlier, 2 bombs would go off during the Boston Marathon of 2013. Jahar and his brother Tamerlan placed 2 bombs near the finish line of the Boston Marathon, and as people began to cross the finish line, the bombs suddenly went off. The bombs killed 3 people and injured hundreds more, causing some to lose their limbs. Just after this happened is when this video was captured, showing as a now domestic terrorist is buying milk after he committed an attack on hundreds of people. This video is just extremely unsettling, to know that all of these people around him have no idea of the atrocities that he was willing to commit and had just committed. His brother Tamerlan passed away a few days later after a shootout with police and after he refused medical service from the ambulance that he was in. Jahar is currently in prison on death row and is awaiting his execution. This is just one of the many disturbing videos on the internet. Here in this video, we can see a kid playing Dance Dance Revolution while his friends record him. Nothing too abnormal in this video. Just a video of some kids at an arcade, right? Well, not exactly. There is one issue, and that one issue is not a small one either. The person playing Dance Dance Revolution is none other than Adam Lanza.
The site today of a mass shooting, and this time gunfire aimed at elementary school children. People were injured in a school shooting this morning, according to. Do have the breaking news of a shooting at an elementary school in Newtown, Connecticut.
This video here was taken sometime in June of 2012 in Newtown, Connecticut. And as I said, the person playing, his name is Adam Lanza. That name may or may not sound familiar, so let me explain. Adam Lanza was born on April 22nd, 1992, and had lived with his mother for his whole life. He lived as normal of a life as he could, given he was diagnosed with Asperger's and OCD. Even with his conditions, he was well known in his schools as he would make honor roll and was described as very intelligent by the teachers. Even with his conditions, he excelled at most things he did, including two specific things. Being very good at Dance Dance Revolution, as he would play for upwards of 10 hours a day according to his friends and family. As well as this, he was also very good with handling guns. This was because his mother was a very avid gun owner who owned dozens of firearms in her home. She would regularly take her kids to the shooting range and would teach them about how to use different guns and practice gun safety. Adam's mother said she trusted her kids very much and said she had no reason to distrust them. As his life went on, he would receive medication to help with his OCD and would receive medication to try and calm his mind. However, at some point around 2006, he and his mother had stopped seeking medical attention for him altogether, and would stop getting medication for him. This was after doctors had determined that he had very violent impulses and tendencies and should seek therapy and medical support. This support, however, never had came. He would instead sit in his room all day, playing games like World of Warcraft and not eating, to the point where he was anorexic. When he wasn't doing this, he would go to the arcade. By the time he was 20 years old, doctors said he was completely malnourished and that this led to further brain damage because of a lack of nutrition. Combine this with his fascination with weapons and violence, and this was not a good recipe for anybody. This leads us to December 14th, 2012, when at 9:30 a.m., a now 20-year-old Adam Lanza would enter the Sandy Hook Elementary School and open fire on several kids and adults. This massacre would result in the deaths of 20 first-grade students and 6 adults who worked at the school. After this, he would pull the gun on himself and end his own life. This event would be known by everybody across the country, and would result in many lawsuits and heartbroken families. The whole incident was an absolute tragedy, one brought on by the neglect to get help. However, looking at this video, you would never know the horrors that this one person would commit. If you were born in the 90s or 2000s, there is a good likelihood you scrolled through the pages of early YouTube. You would find a very different version of YouTube to how it is today. Lots of weird videos littered the website, a lot of them being music related and meme related. However, a few videos always stood out, like Crazy Frog, the Gummy Bear song, and even the subject of this part of the video, the Peanut Butter Jelly Time song. Now, that may sound strange, as it is just a harmless song that a lot of kids and even adults loved. And you would be right. There is really nothing inherently creepy or disturbing about the song itself. What is disturbing is the story of the man who did the vocals for the song, Jermaine Fuller.
Police are investigating a shooting that left a man hurt, and police are searching for the suspects behind home robberies in North Hollywood.
Fire at about 12:30 yesterday afternoon on Linden Boulevard.
Jermaine Fuller was born in Long Beach, California on December 8, 1972. He lived a somewhat normal life growing up. We don't actually know the name of his mother or father, but he did seem to live a pretty normal life. He grew up in Long Beach, California with his 2 sisters, Sherelle and Shantae Fuller. Not much happened as they grew up. However, he had always loved music and making music. So that's what he set out to do for his career. He got together with Marcus Bowens and formed the band the Buckwheat Boys in 1997. This was the same year that his sister Shantae had gotten married. Bowens and Fuller had developed some music together and got picked up by Koch Records. At some point during this time, they had gotten together a few more band members, being J.J. O'Neill, Dougie Williams, and finally Randall Fry. With this group, they created songs like Ice Cream and Cake, and their only album that they had ever released, the Peanut Butter Jelly Time single, which released in 2001. The lead vocalist of the song being Jermaine Fuller. The song was pretty popular for a little while, becoming a meme and cementing itself on the internet as something people either loved or hated. The song didn't set the world on fire, but the band was happy enough with it and wanted to continue making music. Remember how I said Jermaine's sister had gotten married? Well, she had gotten married to Calvin Broadus Jr., or more known by his stage name, Snoop Dogg. That's right, the lead singer and creator of the Peanut Butter Jelly Time song is the brother-in-law to Snoop Dogg. That's a pretty strange fact by itself. However, this isn't a cool facts video, so why is this relevant to the video? Well, on August 13th, 2002, in Clark County, Las Vegas, Nevada, a man would approach police saying that he had been shot at by a man with a gun, however had remained unharmed. The police took the man's statement and eventually tracked down the shooter to a nearby bus stop near the local college. The police wanted to ask some questions. However, during this questioning, an altercation broke out, and there had been 2 shots fired. Nobody was fatally shot, however, 2 officers were shot at. The shooter fled to a nearby apartment building, in which he broke into somebody's room and held them hostage. The unidentified hostage was able to escape through a first-floor window and was relatively unharmed. However, the shooter had barricaded himself into the apartment and said he was going to shoot himself. After a while, he was able to communicate with local news stations that he had a brother-in-law who was a celebrity. That brother-in-law being Snoop Dogg. Jermaine Fuller was the shooter who had barricaded himself in the apartment and shot at the 2 different officers. Eventually, Jermaine received a taped recording of his brother-in-law telling him, "Do what they say. We've got lawyers to take care of this. We'll take care of it." Jermaine never came out of the apartment though. After a nearly 11-hour standoff, at around 10 a.m. the next morning, SWAT eventually broke into the room using tear gas and flash grenades, only to find Jermaine Fuller dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound that he had sustained at some point during the standoff. This was an absolutely devastating moment for everyone involved and his family, and to this day, they don't talk about it very much. The whole event was disturbing, and the fact that the song is associated with it in some way adds a pretty creepy undertone to the whole thing. Alright everybody, I thank you so much for watching. I enjoyed making this video, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. This is kind of a sequel to the Disturbing Pictures video I made a little while ago, and I really enjoyed making that video, and I figured the next logical step would be to go and make a Disturbing Videos video, so here we are. I have some other videos I want to do very similar to this topic, and I'm currently working on those right now, but for now I hope this video was very good. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, as it really helps out the channel. And if you want to help out even more, there is the join membership option, which does pay me a small bit of money to help continue push me even further. Your viewership is enough though. I don't want to keep you too much longer, so I thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.
We gon' be okay, we gon' be alright. We gon' be okay, we gon' be alright. We gon' be okay.